In a small, quiet town, a boy named Sohrab lived with his parents. From the outside, their home seemed peaceful. But inside, Sohrab's words were sharp, and his behavior was cold. He spoke harshly to his father, interrupting him whenever advice was given. He ignored his mother's gentle requests and mocked her worries. He truly believed he was wiser than them both. In his mind, his parents were just old-fashioned, slow, and always standing in his way. His father worked long, hard hours. Every evening, he returned home exhausted, his hands rough from years of labor. Still, he tried to speak kindly to his son, hoping patience would succeed where force could not. His mother carried a quieter strength. She cooked, cleaned, prayed, and waited. Late at night, while Sohrab slept, she would whisper prayers for his future. All she ever wanted in return was a little respect and a little love. But Sohrab saw none of this. To him, love felt like control, care felt like pressure, and silence was so much easier than kindness. One afternoon, an argument erupted. His mother reminded him to be careful, to come home early, to think about his future. Sohrab snapped. He raised his voice and said words he would later wish he could erase. "Stop telling me what to do," he shouted. "I don't need you to control my life." His mother didn't argue back. She simply looked at him. Her eyes were filled with pain, but her voice remained calm. "Life will teach you," she said softly. Sohrab stormed out of the house without saying goodbye. That night, the world changed. On her way home from visiting a relative, his mother was caught in a terrible accident. By the time help arrived, it was too late. When the news reached the house, silence fell like a heavy shadow. Sohrab stood frozen, unable to process the words he was hearing. He kept waiting for someone to say it was all a mistake. But it was not. The next morning, the house felt crushingly empty. There was no sound of footsteps in the kitchen, no gentle voice calling his name, no warm meal waiting on the table. Sohrab sat alone in his room, staring at the wall. Every harsh word he had ever spoken replayed in his mind. Every ignored moment returned like a fresh wound. At the funeral, he couldn't lift his head. The weight of regret pressed on his chest, stealing his breath. He realized that the very last words he spoke to his mother were words of pure anger. That single truth broke him completely. Days passed, then weeks. The house remained quiet. His father seemed to grow older overnight. The light in his eyes faded, but he carried his profound pain in silence. For the first time, Sohrab began to notice what he had never seen before, how much his father struggled, how deeply lonely he was. One evening, Sohrab sat beside him and spoke with raw honesty. "I was wrong," he said, his voice cracking. "I didn't understand." His father nodded slowly. "Understanding often comes late," he replied. "But what matters is what you do with it now." From that moment on, Sohrab changed. He woke up earlier. He helped his father around the house. He learned to speak gently. He listened far more than he spoke. Outside the home, he became different too. He started helping neighbors. He showed respect to elders. He stood up for those who were treated unfairly. Every good deed felt like a message he was sending into the past, a message that he knew would never be answered. Years later, people knew Sohrab as a kind and generous man. But deep inside, he carried one lesson that shaped his entire life. Love is often quiet. Parents don't ask for perfection. They just ask to be seen. And some lessons, once learned, can never be taught again. Thank you for watching. If this story touched you, please consider sharing it. Remember to be kind, especially to those who love you most.